seeing Taika just watching like TV, and then he picks up the remote off the coffee table.
What the?
And he puts it back down. And I was like, I don't even know why you wanted to do that. I was like, what the?
Welcome back to a very insightful and special episode of The Careful Boys, where today we're gonna put Bart in a situation to explain how he would take care of certain things, okay? So here's the concept. We're all gonna think of things that happened to us or things that we did as kids that maybe it got us in trouble.
Oh, cool.
Is this off the record or article? What the f?
Off the record, does it sound like an article?
Yeah, dog.
I just don't like the position you're putting me in.
Can you just accept it? It's your show.
He's roasting you right now. You gonna take that?
So we're gonna think about things that we maybe did as kids where we like fucked up, but then we're gonna ask Bart, if Taika did that today, how would he do justice and
disciplinary actions?
All right.
Okay, cool.
I think we're getting a lot of forgiveness in this episode.
How about
no discipline?
How about the time that I tricked this kid to jump off the swings? I taught him how to jump off the swings, and then when he did it, I met him at the bottom and I kicked him in the nuts.
You did that?
I got a pink slip.
How old are you?
6th grade.
So wait, you told him to open his legs at the bottom of the slide, and you went down the slide like with your fucking
Jumping
leg
off
out?
the swing, dude. Jumping off the swing.
That's
I was
way
jumping
worse.
off the swing, doing splits, and he was like, "Oh, how do you do that?" And I taught him, knowing I tricked him so that he would do it, and I would meet him at the bottom and just kick him. And then the teacher, the 8th grade teacher, saw me, and then he gave me a lecture about how I learned for the first time that he won't be able to have kids if I kick him there.
Why did you want to do that?
Sounds funny.
Sounds funny.
Did you say, why would an 8-year-old need to have kids, you sicko? You sick fuck? You perverted fucker?
But he didn't tell my parents last minute. He gave me the pink slip, and then when I was so freaked out, he let me be scared for a day.
Wait, don't go to any concepts of punishment, even though your parents didn't find out.
What would you do?
Dude, that's fucking tough, man. Okay, so 6-year-old, 11. I would probably have to go with, that was pretty funny. Because I do give props. That is pretty funny.
You would say that to Taika?
He gives
first
props.
I tell him now. He'll do crazy shit and I tell him now. I try to give him all my perspectives on what happened, and I still let him make his own choices. You know what I mean? Like, I try not to, like, you have one action and there's literally only one label for that one. I try not to do that. I try to go, okay, this is what you did. This is the different ways you can look at it. Are you gonna do it again or whatever? And I try to, like,
Don't go too conceptual.
I'm
This
not
is the
deep enough
specific
for that
thing.
lesson.
so for him,
How do you keep me from doing it again and feeling bad?
Well, I'd be like, dude, that's pretty funny.
Look at Nick like he's Taika.
I'm like, hey, Nick, or Taika. That was pretty funny, but our goal, remember we talked about it? We're trying not to get kicked out of school.
That's the goal? That's helpful. That's a lofty one. That's a big one.
It's not a big one if your dad's been kicked out of like 4 schools.
That's true.
So for me, I always felt like I sneeze and I'm gone. So try. Remember we talked about that? And so I've also told you to keep your hands to yourself. So I'm gonna have to whip your ass.
Okay, Papa. That's what I'm gonna say.
How do you hold back from immediately going?
I'll whoop his ass. I'm like, you fucked up. But then I gotta let you know that was funny.
But it's still fucked up.
So you put those two together, and maybe you could find another way of doing that funny shit without having true consequences.
Ruining some kids' lives.
How do you hold back from not grabbing him and say, "What the fuck?" The first thing.
That's hard. I think that would be.
Because the first thing you do is you explain, and then you go, "What the fuck?"
And 2-part question, what is whooping his ass?
Yeah.
So the first one of that is, it's tough because anytime you talk to a child, it has another ROI attached. So you have your immediate investment and then what's gonna come back 10 years later. So if I go, what the fuck, he has trauma later on for sure. So I have to control myself to kind of like be as calculated as I can to not do what my parents did to me, and then now I fucking hate my parents.
Yeah, but you had trauma, but you're still successful and happy, right?
I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know if I'm successful. But I do have trauma.
What's the whoop his ass part?
Yeah.
So the whoop his ass part, I'm like, dude, by the time you're fucking a teen, I don't know, I'll probably just bend him over and spank him like 20 times.
As a teen?
Yeah, you're sixth grade, right? It's like 11, 10, 11?
Yeah.
That's not a teenager.
I'm like, you have common sense, and if you don't, then here's fucking 10 common senses in your ass.
1, 2, 3.
So, with Bart's judgment, if a terrorist blew up an Orbeez building and the fucking Orbeez went all over the fucking place, the judge is like, I have to say that was funny. But you are going away for a long time.
That's
Fucking
why
hilarious.
I cannot be a judge. Because I will.
Because he bases it on the level of comedy.
If it was funny, yeah.
Anybody else have any kid
one
fuck
time
up?
when I was a kid, I was able to get my,
How old? Because it's very age specific.
I think 15.
So you can still get spanked.
Well, not 15. I'm gonna just sock you up, dude.
Yeah.
Can you listen to the crime first? Can you first listen to the crime?
You're already getting socked up.
Just no reason.
So I got my older homie to buy me a nice little porno magazine from the liquor store, right? And so, you know, as an older cousin flex, I was able to give this porno magazine to my cousin who left it in the bathroom when he was wanking off one time. He left it on the toilet, and then his parents found it, his dad found it or whatever, right? He was stressing for like days. He was like, oh my God, I don't know what happened, right? And then eventually his dad pulls him aside and it's like, hey, like, who you been hanging around with? And he already knew that this is where it was gonna go. So he ratted me out right away. He was like, it was Anthony. It was Anthony.
What a bitch!
What an ass.
Your dad should have kicked his ass.
Yeah, we're 15 or something like that.
He ratted you out at 15? That's
You
crazy.
should have chucked him out, dude. That's
It's family though, you know what I mean? It's okay. And so obviously now, if you were my uncle, right? What would you do?
If I was your uncle,
Yeah, cause like if Tyke was 15 and I was 15 and I gave him a porno and he was busting in the bathroom, he left it and then you found it and you were like, who you been hanging around with? And then you found it was me.
there's zero consequence for that. What the fuck?
Zero consequence.
That's like fucking drinking a Sprite when you're eating pizza. What the fuck? I'm like, you're 15, you're horny as fuck.
Yeah,
of
you're
course
gonna
you're gonna
jerk
jack off. I'm like, but this is a public bathroom that you're using it in, so if you could just dispose of your material so mom doesn't see, or if our guests come, they don't see. If grandma comes, she doesn't see. That'd be pretty cool.
Jacket in the shadows.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah,
Don't let us find
Keep
out.
it in the shadows.
jacket in the shadows, just like how you don't see mom and dad fucking
pizza.
doggy style in the living room. I know you're horny. You
It's
gotta,
just a little naughty.
yeah, you're gonna get your jollies off. I'm like, but just keep.
You gotta come.
get
You gotta
your
come.
jollies off.
Look, I know you gotta come. That's how I start.
Listen, you put a hand on the shoulder, you gotta
I guess at 15, yeah, that makes certain.
At 15,
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I would get more
It's
mad
more
that
like
he
mom.
left evidence.
It's more my mom would be more pissed.
Because for me,
Yeah,
it's
for
more
sure.
about being inconsiderate that this is a public space. You know what I mean? Like if this is if this is like the bathroom that everyone uses, you want your mom coming in here seeing that shit? Like just.
It's also like cover your tracks, huh? What is it? Are you an amateur?
But I'm like,
Yeah.
you're gonna jack off,
Jeez.
dude.
That's like taking a shit and not
but what
flushing.
if the magazine is like Black Booty Patrol or some shit?
That's tight.
I'm like, that's pretty interesting.
It was a gay man's magazine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Same thing. You're fucking 15. You're just horny. It could be animals. I don't know.
It could be animals. It could be bestiality. I don't care.
But
What
I'm
if it's like elder porn?
Yeah, if it's some weird shit, I might send a fucking Google Calendar invite to schedule another meeting. Cause I need some time to debrief myself and go, what the fuck is going on? And then talk again.
If you got Taika with a elder porn magazine,
Dude, what if it was
right.
if it's real estate ladies? Are you really proud?
God, this is my kid.
You know what?
God, wow, that's my shit.
I know what you
Genetics
see.
are crazy.
I know what you see in
He's like, I'm gonna confiscate this magazine.
I know what you see in them.
Do you get pulled geoside and you go, that's like me, baby?
we did good. We did it, Joe.
To be fair, I didn't get in trouble at all.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
Like I'm, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like drinking that's what I'm saying. It's like drinking a Sprite.
Drinking a
It's like
Sprite.
eating a pizza.
Okay, how's about this?
Like, what if it's gay pizza?
Try this on for size. Whenever Home Alone came out, we were watching it a bunch and all this shit. I probably was
93.
say
92.
yeah, I'm like 8 years old. And my little brother, I was like, oh, it'd be so sick to like put a needle on the stairs.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Put a needle on the stairs and have my brother step on it and then like it's like the movie. Right? So that's why you always have to tell kids, like, hey, movies are fake.
What up, guys? Thank you for watching us for so long. If you like what we do, please support our Patreon. Joe, tell them what we have to offer.
So every week you get 2 videos. One never released director's cut, and another one too hot for YouTube, Patreon only. Every freaking week you get that, and you get access to our Discord where you can come chat with us.
And ask us questions that become episodes here, because we're gonna answer them and we're gonna take it seriously, and we want to give you the responses that you want. So come stay connected with us, join our Patreon, click the description below for full details.
So I do it, but the needle is so goddamn small because I can only find needles in my house because my mom sews. So I was like, all right, this needle's so small, but the stairs like this big. So then my brother keeps on going. I'm like, go down the stairs again.
Go down the middle, please.
Yeah, down the middle. Go down the middle. Finally my sister is like, what the fuck are you doing, basically? And I'm like, nothing, and all this shit. And then she inspects it and she sees the needle and she's like, what the fuck? You crazy and all this shit. So then I got in all kinds of trouble. You gonna say you're proud of me or that's funny and stuff?
No, that one I'm like,
No consequences. I'm drinking a Sprite.
I don't like physical harm like that. I'd probably be like, what did you think was gonna happen, and try to explore where his brain's at, and goes, oh, it's probably gonna be funny or whatever, it's gonna hurt. I'm like, yeah, it will hurt. And I'm like, this is how it feels like, and I'll grab the foot.
Oh, shit. You grab the foot, get a needle, go boom!
This is what your brother would have felt like. Are you gonna do it again? That's probably what I would do.
It would have been, but not to correct you. He would have not only hit the needle, but he would have fallen down the fucking stairs.
Wait, you had
So you gotta grab Taika's foot, stab the needle, and push him off the stairs.
And throw paint buckets at him and shit.
Damn! The pipe that's on rope. This thing.
And toast his hand with an iron.
Tarantula on the head.
Because I do feel like by 8, they have like a good sense of like common sense. Like have a like action reaction, you know? Yeah. So if they don't, then I'm like,
They do, but the addition of action, reaction, and consequences sometimes eludes us.
yeah, for sure.
If you
100%.
have to sit down and critically think, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Look,
but like usually you're an action reaction, you're like, oh, okay.
I knew it was bad enough where I tried to hide it from my sister as soon as she saw something sus was going on, right? So I knew it was bad enough, but I didn't think it was that bad. That's the problem.
That's true. It's always like, it's never like that bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Like I told the story before, but around Taika's age, I got into my brother's toolkit, and then I found pliers, and then my dad had some pianos he was repairing, and I went through all the wires. I opened up. It was exposed. You know how the wires? I just went bing, 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 bong, bing, 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 bing. That's still the bong, bing. And it went bing, bing. You know?
Holy shit.
So what would you do if Taika did this?
And my dad was in the house doing a piano lesson. So you know he's out here. So you hear that in the background. Yeah, and I'm like,
But that wasn't his primary piano.
no, he also fixed pianos.
But he,
so there
Thank
were
God.
so there were pianos in the garage.
but he had to be proud because Joe was matching the fucking key with the piano lesson.
Like chopsticks with them.
Yeah.
So he came out.
He did Ode to Joy.
So with that one, I would probably, because I'm the only thing I can relate that to would be like something that's valuable to me, which would probably be my drum set, and he popped all the heads or whatever.
Or what if he went to your like home gym and was breaking all the like parts that lift the.
He was welding them all together.
So I would explain to him that what he did was very costly, and then so now he owes me. So you know how he gets like basketball cards or whatever, like he gets to earn money. I'm like,
Just financially ruined.
yeah, that's like 3 G's. So the next however much, we'll do weekly tallies of all the stuff that you usually do and you get paid for it. Now you have to pay for what you just
Teach
did.
him about debt.
So he understands that.
Credit card.
Teach you about serious debt.
Yes.
Are you putting interest on that though?
You're fucking
No,
ruined.
no interest.
What about annual fee? You can do annual fee?
And there's no ass whooping.
What's the vig on that?
Maybe he gets points back.
Dang. Okay. All right.
All right. What about if
I'm starting to realize that we always had just one answer to our consequences.
I realize how uncreative my parents are at punishments.
All of us just got our ass.
Because I think most people, you're just emotional. So for that, it's probably Joe probably just got his ass whooped because his dad's so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And I think that's how all of us.
Our parents' creativity was just like, what am I gonna use to whoop the ass today?
You know what?
Not me. My parents didn't whip my ass, but I got spanked. Spanking was real.
You know what worked on me more than anything was very similar to yours. Is I remember when my dad was younger and I was like 6 or 7. My dad had a really like passionate hobby of photography and a nice Nikon camera, and he used to make these albums of like sick ass photos. One day I took his camera and you know the part that rewinds the film.
Yeah.
You had, back in the day to manually do that. I started turning it really fast and it just broke and snapped off. And I remember my dad looking at it and just going. Because like we didn't have a lot of money back then, so he couldn't get another one, and he just quit photography, and he never shot another like nice photo ever again.
That's fucking
It
extreme.
was like 1989, and it made me feel so bad. I never like fucked up any of his shit.
I would have rather taken an ass beating.
Yeah, me too. I wanted an ass beating.
Dude, that was his lesson for you. He was still doing photography on the side, just hid it from you.
Instead, he just like was like holding his camera and just looking at it just like this. And I was a kid like waiting for an ass beating, and it didn't come, and I felt so bad.
I would rather have an ass beating than that.
I'd rather have an ass beating.
We gotta buy your dad a camera.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good punishment.
Yeah, we should pitch in, you guys.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Hey, take the winnings and buy your dad a camera.
Yeah.
But leave my winnings here.
Yeah, leave my wings too.
I didn't agree on that.
I mean, I guess the closest thing to that was seeing Taika just watching like TV, and then he picks up the remote off the coffee table.
What the fuck?
And he puts it back down. And I was like, I just was like, thank you. I don't even know why you wanted to do that.
Okay, so that was kind of funny.
Honestly, it was though. I was like, what the fuck? He was about to launch it straight into the TV. And I'm like, bro, you're not gonna be able to watch any movies.
Was he watching sports?
No.
And he just decided not to.
The fuck?
If I saw my kid do that and the Colts are blowing another lead, I'm like, give me the fucking controller. I want to throw it.
But I do know kids are impulsive. They just have a feeling and they just want to do it.
Yeah.
I almost killed my friend. I was at. Remember that park where we filmed the Sweet Tooth music video and you picked up a goose?
Oh, yeah.
So it's called Alondra Park, right? So what the fuck? Yeah, he got dropped off at my house. My
Is this a nursery rhyme?
I gotta paint the picture. It's a big park.
There's a lot of geese everywhere.
Lot of duck skis. Yeah, and there's a huge pond in the middle with an island, right? And his parents dropped him off. My parents took us to the park. We're like playing, right? I just had this funny thought, like pushing him into the water. You know how like there's always this, you throw someone in the pool or whatever, right? So I just fucking launched him into the water, and he couldn't swim.
Oh.
So motherfuckers started drowning and drinking this water, and I froze. I was like, holy fuck, right? And there was this Mexican dude fishing next to me, and he saw it. He just jumped in, grabbed my friend, and then brought him up, and he was coughing and shit. And then the whole time my parents were like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I was just like frozen, and I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, that's not how I thought this would play out.
So, what would you do in that situation?
That's a good one.
Taika pushed his friend in the water and he almost fucking drowned.
I'd probably
That was funny.
whoop his ass right away. Right then and there.
What?
Yeah, I'd probably pull his pants out and start whooping his ass.
But I'd argue it's the kid's fault for not knowing how to swim.
There's that too. No.
The parents didn't teach him how to
Honestly,
swim.
Just immediately.
I'll probably whoop his ass right then and there.
Wow, that's a big one.
Because to me, I feel like the punishment has to match. Like what the goal is always not the punishment. The goal is always making sure that the lesson is learned.
Severity.
Yeah, and so I think the severity has to match. Like if you almost killed someone, I need to make sure you never do that again. And I don't know if words. Hey, honey, what did you think was gonna happen? You saw those bubbles going down? I don't know if a fucking 3 paragraphs is gonna make him go, oh yeah, I'll definitely not do that again.
I didn't know that. I thought swimming was like walking, where everyone knew how to do it.
Privilege.
You live by the water your whole life, dude.
The funny thing is, that's how I learned how to swim. My dad just threw me in, and I was drinking some chlorine water. But I was in shock. I was like,
What if Taika did the thing that Joe did where he embarrassed his parents when they had guests over?
Oh yeah.
Remember when he's like,
Yeah, where he's like, you don't even like these fucking people. Why are they here?
they said they want you to leave.
do you remember that story? So
remember-
we had guests over, and I think I had a new game or something. I really wanted to fucking play this game, and I was telling my mom, and she goes, "We have to entertain our guests." And I was like, "Fuck. Well, maybe if they went home, I could play my game." So I went outside, and then I just told them, like, "My parents said you guys are overstaying. You're welcome." And then they got so embarrassed. They were just like, "Oh shit! Well, we gotta leave then, you know." And then my parents like, "We did not say that. Wait, why did you say that? We did not say that." And then they scurried off, and I was like, "Fucking yes, video game time, right?" And then we were all basically. I totally forgot, but they just bought me a Sega
What
Genesis.
video game? He's trying to rationalize the fucking.
Because
Well, it was basically right
Like
after
Super Mario Brothers 3? I get it.
I just got a Sega Genesis.
Oh, so
And-
Sonic.
But I remember like everything about it was like that's all I wanted to do.
What game is the ultimate Bart response?
no, so that literally happened yesterday. So we got Taika this game. That's why I said video game. But his game was. Have you guys played the Jelly Bean game? It's like Wheel of Fortune, and it tells you which game and which jelly bean it goes on. And some of them could be like blueberry, and the other one could be like cat farts.
Bart, I'm 38 years old.
Oh, you like try mystery flavor.
Oh yeah.
He was like foaming
I
at
wanna
the
get
mouth, and like all this family was over at Gio's house, and he was like foaming at the mouth. We play the jelly bean game, and he wants to go in the middle. And I was like, well, this middle part is shared space. I'm like, if you want to play with your cousins, you guys can go in the room and play that game. He goes, no, I want to play with everyone. I was like, then go ahead and ask everyone. And if everyone's down to play, let's play. So he actually went to hey, would you like to play the jelly game? He went to every aunt, uncle, whatever. And everyone's like, sure. He's like, they said yes. So we went to go get the jelly bean game, and now the whole family played together, and we flicked the fucking Wheel of Fortune thing. We're all eating burnt rubber or fucking wet dog or whatever. And it turned into and it became such a thing where people were spitting it out that one of the other kids grabbed the trash can that was in the kitchen and put it in the living room, because as soon as someone would eat, they would fucking spit it into the trash can. It became like a family thing.
Okay, so that ended really nice, but I
But
think
that
the
is not
focus.
the same.
It's not the same because I asked my mom and she said wait until they leave.
But that's what I mean. My reaction's different. So I think your mom excused you right away. Like, this is not a possibility.
Yeah,
For me, I'm like,
Well, it shouldn't.
Well, what if Tim Kennedy was over and then Taika went up to Tim Kennedy and was like, Bart said you have to leave.
oh, like that?
Yeah, like he just lied.
Yeah.
You're doing.
Bart's like fucking reading legal documents here. Like,
No. I thought it was the crime and then the reaction. How is my reaction different?
Let's say Taika lied.
Taika and Joe had the same crime.
Yeah.
No, the crime is not.
He
the
wanted to
same.
play by himself. Tiger wanted to play with everybody.
what crime did Taika commit? He asked people to play a game.
Yeah. It's not the same crime. No,
he's
the
like-
crime
he's like
is
making it up.
I
He's like lying.
sabotaged the
it's not true.
night,
The gathering.
the gathering, so I could do what I want to do.
Like if Taika was like,
Yeah.
he went up to Tim Kennedy and went, in the other room, Bart said you were overstaying, you're welcome. And then Tim Kennedy
And it's because Taika wanted to play fucking Jelly Bean by himself.
and then Tim Kennedy's like, oh shit, well I should probably leave. And then you're like, no, it's not. That's not.
We didn't say that shit.
but then he scurried off.
But then because he's a kid, adults go, oh, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And I was standing by the driveway going, "Fuck yeah, video game time, bro!"
Then Tim Kenny goes outside, gets up on the kick plate of his fucking truck, opens it up, and drives away.
Yeah.
I think there would probably be a lesson about lying and how we all have to take turns with what we want to do. So it'd probably be, I don't think it would be an ass beating, but it'd be some sort of lecture on like, you have to have patience, and then when we have guests over, it is about the guests.
A lecture?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Because it's not severe. That's not
Lifted off the ground.
They fucking pulled me back and fucked me up. They fucking double teamed me, dude.
Weren't you sitting there with the Sega controller in your hand? Not yet.
Because that to me is not severe. It's not like he didn't kill anybody. You know, it's just like, oh, I see what you really wanted to do.
Those are the measurements?
That is insane to me.
Kill somebody?
That is insane.
Well, the other one, Joe almost killed someone, right? So I'm like, that's an ass beating.
I think it's intention because one was malicious. I was trying to destroy.
We're making it all about you and wanting to play your.
The other one, you're just a kid. You don't know that someone can die. So like, I think,
You don't think it's selfish for Taika to ruin your night just so he can play his game?
or
is.
or potentially ruin your
Then
relationship.
that's a psychological thing, right? It's like, because I think So the older you, that's why I think it's so age specific, because the older you get, the more intention matters.
Yeah.
The younger you are, it needs to be like nature, right? A dog plays with the bee, gets stung, never plays with the bee ever again. So I think when you're a kid, you push a kid into the pond. If they're fucking 6, you need to just whoop his ass, because it's like he'll never do that ever again. He doesn't know what he's doing at all up until maybe he's like 8, 9, or 10. So the more he can reason, the more I'll reason with him. So if he's 6 and he's telling everyone to leave, it's a matter of patience. If he just thinks my time is worth more than your time, so that's why I would give him the lecture of like, we need to take turns.
I see how that makes sense, but I just feel like the older and the bigger we got, the more severe the punishment.
No consequences. If I got a lecture, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. 100%.
Just words.
A lecture was basically a presidential pardon.
I mean, but lecture number 2 always comes with consequences. So it's like the first one I always give you the benefit of the doubt. You don't know.
So there's lecture and then there's lecture.
So if Tim Kennedy leaves, right? He gets it. Tulsi Gabbard comes, and that happens again. Then I'm whooping his ass. I'm like, you already got the lecture the first time.
Yeah.
You get all the benefit of the doubt the first time.
What if like Tim Kennedy leaves? It's not Tulsi that comes next time. It's me who comes.
Yes, thank you.
You get me, son.
Do that.
You are
again.
my son.
Do that again.
Dab attack.
As soon as Anthony comes on the driveway, go to the edge of the driveway and tell him the same thing.
Edit this last
Say,
part
Kinja's
out
not
of the
welcome here,
video.
100%.
Burn the sign.
Make a sign and have Taika hold it when he pulls up.
Dude, that's a funny thing to make Taika do as a prank.
Hey, Bart, what's the volume of your voice during this lecture? That's key for me.
Oh, it's low. It's probably like,
Oh!
He's too controlled.
Dude, my dad would have a megaphone in my ear, bro.
Remember when we kept making Steve sound like his childhood was super easy, and he's all, "Yeah, my mom was sucking my dick."
And my lectures are never lectures. They're all just questions. Every time I talk to Taika, it's all questions, so he comes up with the answers.
So it's an actual conversation? Great.
I don't want to give him the answers.
We're just jealous. We're just mad.
Nick wrote that joke for me. I read it.